But before I do, I'm going to say one and only one thing about Governor Hutchinson. And it's not always popular in rooms full of Democrats, but I'm going to say it anyway. I think that Governor Hutchinson is a decent man. And I think he works hard for this state, although I have some fierce disagreements with him. But I also think that we need to expect decency, not celebrate it. We need to evaluate and we need to demand that our leaders have a vision that is really commensurate with what we need as a state, that really makes all the progress we deserve and we are capable of to expand opportunity and justice to everyone in this state as fast and as broadly as we can deliver it. And so with that, I'm going to lay out 4 priorities that I'm running on. And I will say that over the course of this campaign, we're going to build out a much broader, more detailed platform. But we're purposely waiting on that at this point because I want that to be written by us together. And it's going to need to be a product of hundreds or even thousands of conversations that we have on the trail in the coming months. Having said that, there are 4 things that I'm excited to fight for in this campaign that I think could help build a new and bolder future for this state. The first, of course, is related to public education. I believe that Arkansas should set a single focusing goal to make this the best state to be a public school educator within the next decade. I've worked in education deeply for the last 10 years. I have been in hundreds and hundreds of classrooms. I have listened and worked with hundreds and hundreds of teachers. I have also studied systems around the world. We are living in the most rapid and dynamic and expansive period of change in all of human history. We need to prepare kids to get to and through college. We need to prepare them to be competitive and to have access to great, well-paying technical jobs. We also need to prepare them for jobs that don't even exist yet. We can do all of that, but only if we recognize that our educators are amongst our most talented and important professionals. We need to treat them as such, we need to train them well, we need to give them resources, and then we need to get out of their way. And that's what we're going to start doing when I'm elected. Second, small business development. You know, people like to celebrate the low unemployment rate in our economy. People like to talk about all the job growth, but they don't like to talk about the fact that these jobs are highly, highly concentrated in 2 or 3 areas of the state. They don't like to talk about that we still have some of the lowest median wages in the country. I believe that the answer to this is to really recognize what politicians have been saying and talking about for years but done nothing about, which is to recognize that small business development actually is the heart of a strong economy. It is the heart of an economy that can adapt to these dynamic times that we're living in. I've worked in dozens of rural communities over the last few years. In every single one that I've been in, I have met people that are smart, that are talented, that are hardworking, and that have the courage and the vision to start a business on a vacant storefront on Main Street. What they don't have usually is $5,000 or $10,000 in capital to start. They don't have access to health insurance while their family takes the risk. And they usually lack the first 10 to 15 hours of basic training that can give a new entrepreneur a fighting shot. We could provide that in every small town in this state. We could invest in Arkansans and let them build their economies from the bottom up, rather than having a strategy that is entirely dependent on bringing business in from the outside. The third issue, of course, that we're all passionate and worried about is healthcare. We have got to protect Medicaid expansion, and that's not only because people should have access to healthcare, because I believe healthcare is a right, but it's also because in 2018, Medicaid is essential for the financial well-being and the sustainability of our hospitals. And I think everyone deserves to live at driving distance of a good health facility. We need to make sure that continues to be the case in Arkansas. And I think that's going to be a powerful issue. Finally, the fourth thing that I want to run on has to do with childhood poverty. You know, we have the third or fourth highest rate of childhood poverty in the nation. There's several reasons why. It is not a simple problem. But there is one that doesn't get enough attention that I think is at the heart of it. And politicians like to shy away from this issue because it can be tricky. But I've only been a politician for about 43 or 44 days now, so I don't know any better yet. But one of the reasons that we have one of the highest child poverty rates, and one of the reasons we will continue to have one of the highest child poverty rates until we have the courage to talk about it, is the fact that in Arkansas we have the highest teen pregnancy rate in the United States. And I say this as someone that was born to a teenage mother almost 40 years ago. My wife and I have almost every advantage you could ask for. We're really fortunate people. But raising a kid's hard. Even with those advantages. Our kids deserve more. They deserve a government, they deserve leadership that is not afraid to name this challenge. And they deserve a governor that is willing to use the stage and the power of this office to bring communities together, to put options in front of communities that other states have used to radically address or to radically decrease teenage pregnancy, and to figure out ways to solve this issue in manners that are consistent with local values. If we can do this, we can take a huge bite out of poverty in the next 10 years. And if I'm elected, I'm committed to taking that on because I think that the future of this state can be incredible if we're willing to act boldly to capture opportunities, and if we also have the courage to name and address some of our biggest challenges. So with that, I want to thank you all for being here tonight. I do want to encourage you all. There are many ways to help this campaign, and I know some of you all have already taken so many of these steps. Whether it's volunteering, whether it's just spreading the word, whether it's being a supporter on social media. I do want to also encourage you all to contribute tonight if you can. We are trying to raise our $10,000 filing fee tonight, and every bit helps. You know, I think that we can win this race even if we raise far less money than Governor Hutchinson. But just on a point of personal pride, I want there to be more Arkansans that have bought into this race at whatever amount they're capable of. And I would ask you to do your part tonight, whatever that means to you. Thank you all for being here. I've met a lot of you all already in the evening, but I'm going to be here until the last person leaves, and I hope to shake all of your hands and talk to you all in person and hear what you all care about. But thank you again for being here. It means a lot. And let's go get Democrats fired up. Let's go bring independence in the fold, and let's go win this election. Thank you.